Hello Pisces, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly to each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at this brilliant sun. This is wonderful. This is beautiful. You're somebody who I think is very in touch with your true self. I feel like you right now, you're lit up. You are just, you're shining. You're radiant, okay? I feel like you have a very intense and kind of unprecedented clarity about your life right now. I feel like there is a certainty in you, a certainty of both who you are and where you're going, right? What you're made of and what you're supposed to do with that, all right? This is a lot of enlightenment. This is really, this is that radiant true self kind of energy. Yeah, and this is clarity. So I feel like this is your ability to observe yourself, observe your choices, observe your thoughts, and realize that you are the spirit behind all of that. Okay? Let's put that card into a little bit of context, yeah? Oh, Ace of Cups. Very good. And 8 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. Prince of Wands. And the Chariot. Wow. Yes. Yeah, this is extraordinary. A lot of really, really good cards here. You have a Queen of Pentacles. You have a Queen of Swords. You've got the Pisces Power card. You've got the Moon card. And the Moon card is the card that rules the sign of Pisces. So it is a very special card. It's in the position of the fear, worry, or concern right now, I guess. I kind of feel like this is talking about the path that is uniquely yours, okay? And what you are uniquely going to have to deal with as you follow this clarity, as you follow your orbit and your trajectory and your true will through the universe. There is the Builder. Now we have a lot of court cards here too. We've got court cards that are focused on fire and earth, building in the present moment. This is the inspiration, this is implementation, impulse, this is action, this is the idea, and this is you building the idea. Okay? So you really are supercharged right now, Pisces. You have the Queens, which are looking at the past. Okay? So the Queens are kind of understanding the choices that you've made, right? They're kind of representing your future self. Looking back to right now and understanding that the choice you are making this is creating the success story of your life, especially with the earth energy here. So I don't even know where to start. This is amazing. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation. We got a volunteer. It's the Judgment card, rebirth, reawakening, the baptism by fire. It just keeps getting better and better. So we're going to take this mystery card. We're going to put it here with Mr. Ed, our little horse. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and it will give us our confirmation. I'm sure of it. If you have a prediction for that card, though, please put something down in the comments, a hunch, a guess, whatever. Yeah. Let's take a look around the room. We've got major, 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 and a little extra major. We've got fire. We've got, we got the one water card. We've got a little bit of air. And we've got earth, 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 earth. A lot of earth energies. I feel like this is really talking about your physical, financial, health, and wealth kind of thing, your success in this human world in which we live. This is something tangible. This is something that you'll be able to experience with your senses, something you'll be able to measure or count. Okay, so seems like it's financial, feels like it is a very lucrative life. Okay, and I feel that your choice right now is going to create this success to the point where your future self is going to have quite the story to tell. Yeah, your choice creates the success story of your life. Because this is your future self, looking back on all the thoughts, words, and deeds that are happening right now that are creating this success. You want to be sitting pretty in the future. You got to do the right things now. Everything you're doing now is creating who you will be in the future. Okay? And you want to have that success story. We've got to start writing it right now. And that choice that you have to make is following your heart. You've gotten a clear vision of something. And you know beyond the shadow of a doubt, there's no shadows when the sun is this bright. Okay? And that sort of is representing referencing our moon card here in the position of what we don't want, because this is all shadow. This is all sunlight. Okay? So it's kind of saying that we don't want to live in obscurity. We don't want to be confused. We don't want to be in the dark, scary forest anymore. Well, you have this enlightenment. You have this clarity. It's not a dark, scary forest when you are the radiant sun, is it? You are the light that has dawned. In this moon card, we see the little disk of the sun being pushed up into the horizon. Well, it's happened. So this is kind of saying, I don't want to go back to darkness. I need to go forward into the light. Okay? And this is the path with heart. So this is the choice, to follow your heart. It's going to lead to extraordinary success and that success story. Okay? And we have the Judgment card. It's kind of Spirit's way of saying wake up, because it is Pisces o'clock. This is the spiritual alarm clock, right? And it's showing you that there is a big change a-coming here. You follow your heart and basically mobilize your energy. Realize that you are the vehicle. You are the vehicle of your destiny. If this is your true self and your true purpose, right? If this is who you are, this is why you're here. You have a duty to be the vehicle for that. Okay? So this represents you taking control of your body, your heart, your mind, your soul, and mobilizing all of your energy, going toward this purpose, going with this energy. Yeah, this is fascinating. I love all of the earth energy that we have here. I love the major arcana that we have. What is the Ace of Cups for you? Well, I think this is something that has the highest priority in your life right now. This is the choice that you're making, to follow this singularly. You are doing this thing. This is what your life is all about. You're receiving this clarity, this moment of enlightenment, this revelation, this wake-up call that says this is what you're supposed to do with your life. This is the path you're supposed to be on. Now, this is going to unfold in really unpredictable ways. Okay? It's just an ace. It's just a seed. It's kind of saying you gotta take this drink. You've got to pursue this path, right? You have to accept this cup full of of spiritual light, and sort of consume it. Let it consume you. You're drinking your own elixir here. Okay, but it's going to create a lot of changes. And now I think that this is you kind of getting clarity on what it is that you want to do, what your purpose is in life. Okay, well, it's very simple, and it should be simple. It is feeling you are impelled to travel a certain direction. I think what we realize with the moon card too is that there are still a lot of variables out there that you want to do. I want to do one thing, and I want to be, whatever. I want to be a successful writer, or a successful musician. Okay, that's your Ace of Cups. There's a lot of other little side quests that need to go into that, right? So we do need the dark, scary forest again. We need to be able to venture into the unknown because, well, you got to do a lot of different things if you're going to be the successful whatever, right? You have to know what your book is about, and then you got to get to writing it. Or I don't know, maybe some writers, some authors, they kind of say that they write the ending of the book first, right? And then their process is to figure out how we get to that ending, you know? That's kind of what I'm feeling here, because we have the queens here as sort of the vision of your future self, looking back on right now, kind of thinking, okay, how do I want to write the story? I know where I want to end up. How am I going to write the story? What other things do I need to do? What other tasks, what other accomplishments, what other challenges do I need to face in order to get to the ending that I want? In order for this to be the story that I want. Let's say you want to be the magician. Okay, well, you gotta, or the musician. I always confuse the two. But it is being the magician, honestly. Maybe that's the mystery card. To be anything, whatever your goal is, whatever your purpose is here in this life. Let's say the writer. You want to be the writer. Okay, well, you gotta you gotta read other writers. You gotta know how to write. You gotta have life experience. You gotta work your imagination. Maybe you need to get some kind of a system by which you can actually type stuff out. A computer, a typewriter. You're gonna write it by hand or something. So you need to think of all of these other contingent things. All these other there's these other pathways that need to also be traveled in order for you to reach the ending that you want. Nothing is a straight line. It'd be a pretty boring book, right? If you know the ending and there's just a straight shot getting there, it'd be a very, very boring and very short book. So we realize that there are a lot of other roads we have to travel to get to where we're going, you know? And I think that you need to think about where you are now and think about all the roads you had to travel, all the different things that you've ever done in your life, and how they have brought you to this moment right now. Okay? So anything you want to do in life, you want to be successful at business, okay? Well, then you gotta learn these other things. You might, I don't know, maybe you want to be, president of the United States, right? Then maybe you consider, okay, well, are you doing military service? What school do you go to? How are you going to network? How are you going to volunteer? It's like someone who's preparing to go to a really good college. A student who's trying to get into like the best college they could think of. Okay, well then maybe you gotta get your grades up. You got to do some community service, some volunteer stuff. You need some extracurricular stuff, things that are going to look good on your application. So there's a lot of other side quests that need to be done. There's a lot of variables, a lot of unknowns. And I think this is what you're sort of preparing yourself for right now, is going forward with this Chariot energy, being fortified, knowing that you're sort of entering the dark, scary forest of uncertainty again. But this time you have certainty, right? You know where you're going. You're just not sure exactly how we're getting there. But that's the fun of writing the story. Yeah. The Eight of Pentacles is kind of about that too. It's the prudence. It is the caution. It is the slow and steady growth. We know it's not going to be a straight shot right to the goal, boom, success. Overnight, There's a lot of work that goes into it. Again, whatever you want to do or whatever you want to be in life, there's a lot of other things that are going to go into that. Okay? I'm trying to think of a good example here. But it's literally anything. You want to be the owner of a business. Okay, well, first you got to know your business. You got to know your craft, whatever it is. But you also have to know about business. You got to know about taxes. You got to know about marketing. You got to know about HR kind of stuff. You got to be a little bit of a salesperson. You got to be a little bit of a business person. You've got to be all sorts of things. All sort of like just you want to do a YouTube channel. Okay, well, you got to know your craft. What are you doing? You got to know how to read tarot. You got to know how to do a camera. You got to know how to do audio. You got to know how to do lighting, and you got to know how to edit the videos and how to do the uploading. You got to know how to do the marketing, and then you got to do the taxes and stuff too on top, like all that other stuff. There's a lot of other skills involved, and that's kind of what we need to really bring out of ourselves, is our ability to work hard at all of these so-called lesser things. All I want to do is come into the studio and read the tarot cards for you, right? This is all I want to do. But I realize that I have to put a lot of effort and attention into all these other things. You know, how the set looks, what kind of clothes do I wear, what's the lighting look like, how do I do the back end stuff on YouTube with the keywords and all this kind of stuff, you know? And then, of course, the business side of things, the taxes and the accounting and all this kind of thing, because it's a business after all, right? And not only that, but how do I do the personal enrichment? I got to have time to read and meditate and contemplate and study and pray and worship and experience life and be inspired. And I got to be able to just exist with myself and with the energy and with the cards and with spirit to do the personal spiritual enrichment, right? That even allow me to approach my craft in an authentic way. And that's what we see here with these two cards that are at the top and the bottom of the path of the dove for you. Because all we want to do is fall in love and get in the car and go and be that energy and do that thing, right? But we realize that we have to do this fire and earth connection here too. We've got to be able to put in the work on all those so-called lesser tasks, the so-called boring tasks, right? All I want to do is drive the car as fast as I can. No, you got to change the oil. You got to check the tires. You got to, take it in for service or whatever, right? There's all these other things you got to do. All I want to do is, is eat the gumbo. Well, you got to chop the vegetables, and you gotta make the roux, and you got to put in your stock, and you got to cook the chicken, and you got to slice. There's all these other so-called lesser tasks. But I think for you, because we have this Ace of Cups right in the middle, that even these so-called lesser tasks are not lesser for you. They have just as much joy and meaning to them, because they are part of this. They really are what are creating this life for you, are all these smaller things. And as we look in the background, we see the Nine of Pentacles. And you're realizing that the great achievements in life, my story, the ending of my book, the realization of my purpose and the fulfillment of my destiny is made up of all these other little things, all these other little choices. This one great big choice to follow your heart is leading you to a lot more of these other little things. You want this big Ace of Cups life, right? You've got to equally want all of these other little, more mundane, more routine, more boring, or the so-called lesser tasks. But they all build up into this big story. It's kind of like, I just want the big climax of the story that I'm reading. Well, yeah, but you got to read all the setup too. You got to read about all the characters, and you got to read the story, and it's just because it makes it more meaningful. You can't just read the last chapter of a novel. You can't just write the last chapter of your novel. You got to go through all the meticulous byways and things and side roads and country roads, right, to get to that destination. Okay, and that's part of what our Nine of Pentacles is in the background. So this is extraordinary for you. I like this so much. And I feel like right now you're realizing that, okay, there's a lot of things as I move forward in this path, pursuing this heart, this purpose, right, with everything that you've got, you realize that the further you get on the path, the more of these other little side quest things you're going to have to do. It's kind of like you get started with a business and you realize, oh, okay, now I got to learn about plumbing. Okay, let me get the books out. Oh, now I got to learn about, roasting coffee. Let me figure out how to do that. Or you got to learn about advertising. Okay, well, now I'm going to have to learn that little, genre of knowledge. And so it's taking you on this wild journey that really is, it's enriching you in every way imaginable. Yeah, it's a complex thing that starts out so simply, but it takes you down all these other avenues of growth and exploration and expansion and learning, but everything is tied into this. That's the point, right? Everything's tied into this. Now, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about this a little bit. I'd like to ask you for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is free. Your general energy is the Queen of Pentacles, because I think that one thing you've got to do is look at your history up until now. Look at the long and winding road that you've already taken to get just right here. and understand how this is the culmination, this moment, right now here between me and you, this moment is the culmination of every choice you've ever made. So it's like this moment right now is sort of your present awareness, your consciousness right here in this moment. And it's made up of all of these past choices that have all led up to right now. And now right now is that Ace of Cups, and that's going to lead to all these other choices going forward. And that's how like every moment is just the sum total of all of our choices. And you're making choices now based on what I feel is a very intense enlightenment. I think you know who you are and why you're here. So all your choices going forward are going to be in service to your destiny, in service to your soul. I feel like you are answering the call. Okay. You've got a Queen of Swords in your environment. And this is another card that sort of looks at the bigger picture, sort of detaches from the emotions. And let's look at things maybe in a practical, let's kind of formulate a plan. So in other words, we have to kind of look around and say, okay, you know what? I have a lot of experience in my life. I've already done a lot of things. I've learned a lot. I suffered a lot, loved a lot, whatever. I've had a lot of experience. And all that experience is part of who you are now. It's part of what's going to be very useful in doing your craft. But then we have to also look at the future and think, there's a lot of other stuff that I don't know yet. So where do I go from here? What are the first few things I have to get started doing in order to get this show on the road, to start writing the book? Well, you already know how to do your letters, I think, right? You already know how to hold a pen. Like those are things that I've already learned. Now what do I need to learn? Well, let me figure that out so I can start writing. So we need to have some idea of what to do next, a little bit of a plan. And I really strongly believe that everything you've ever done in your life is contributing to your ability to do this thing, whatever it is, contributing to your craft. Okay, the way I might look at my work here and realize that everything I've done for the last 40 years, roughly, give or take, has sort of contributed to what I'm doing now. Every experience that I've ever had, every book I've ever read, every practice, every moment that I spent just tossing the cards around or meditating or praying or worshiping or studying or reading or walking through the park or swimming or being in love or fighting, or all of these things have become part of me doing this work in the present moment right now. Okay, there is no wasted experience. So if you're able to look at your history that way, then we can look at the future that way too and think, I'm going into this dark, scary forest. There's a lot of things that I don't know that I'm going to have to learn. And you know what? I'm excited for that. I'm excited to learn the new subjects and the new kind of areas of expertise where I have no knowledge, right? As part of this sort of umbrella purpose in life, all these other little side quests or these so-called lesser tasks, but they are valuable in and of themselves, right? They're valuable because they teach you discipline, they teach you follow-through and commitment, but also they're contributing directly to you doing this work of yours, okay? So the dark, scary forest kind of becomes our best friend. It allows us to approach the future, approach the unknown with excitement, with courage, with bravery, with a readiness. I can't wait to see what I'm going to get to learn, what I'm going to have to discover, what skills am I going to have to develop as I go forward on this path. We kind of get excited for the mystery of it all. Right? I don't know where the path is really leading me. I don't know how the story is going to weave itself through the pages and get to the end. I don't know what classes I'll have to take. I don't know what books I'll have to read or what subjects I'll have to study to get good at this, to get better at this, to continue on this path, but I'm excited to do it because it's enriching. personally, but it also, again, it's contributing to your overall ability to do whatever you do. I don't know what you're doing, right? But I know you're doing it. And that's the Prince of Pentacles at the end. That is the builder. That is the one who is doing the work, whatever it takes. We're not so much worried about the past. We're not really focused on the future either. We kind of know that we have this purpose in our lives. We have this clarity, and we're making the right choices, and we're doing the work today, the work at hand that needs to be done. If today's the day that we have to shovel the bovine excrement out of the stable, then that's fine. Then that's what we're doing today. Not every day we're going to be riding the horse, Not every day it's going to be just fun and games and the joy of doing our purpose. But some days we got to just do the dirty work. Some days it's just about doing the little odds and ends, the little maintenance work, changing the oil. Not every day is the joy ride, right? Sometimes it's just, I got to wash the car. But we can find joy in even those so-called lesser tasks. The things that probably most people wouldn't want to do. Well, that's why they're not going to do this, and you are. Because you're not just going to wait for when it's time to ride the horse. No, you're going to be taking care of the horse. You're going to be doing the dirty work. You're going to be shoveling the poop. You're going to be washing the horse and brushing the horse and feeding the horse. And it's your willingness, not even your willingness. It's you seeing the value of those smaller tasks. Well, I don't know what to call them. It's your ability to cherish those and see the value in those. That's creating this ultimate success. It's how you're writing this story. I'm going to look at that mystery card. Maybe an expansion of our Ace of Cups, maybe into a 9 or a 10 of Cups. I don't know. Well, we have the Judgment card. Let's not forget about that. This is, again, the wake-up call. This is an invitation for you to step into this future and start doing this, okay? So it's a voluntary kind of decision. It's a choice that we're making to go. This is that choice that's going to create the success story of your life. We've got to answer the call. I think the mystery card might be the universe or the world. It might be the Empress. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. The strength, the bravery, the courage. You got double Leo energies now. Both of these are Leo cards. I would watch the Leo reading if I were you. It might be something relevant to you, okay? But this is the courage. This is the bravery. This is saying that, look, I don't mind doing the dirty work. I don't mind getting my hands dirty, doing the so-called menial tasks. I don't mind doing the mundane, routine stuff because I like it. I think it's good for me. It gives me strength. It helps me to grow. It enriches my life. And it's contributing to the bigger picture. So you've got the ability to do. You have the strength and the courage and the bravery to go and do. You don't know what this task, what this path is going to ask of you. And that's part of our moon energy here. We don't know. We don't know everything that will be required of us. But that's okay, because we know that we're going to be doing it. We're going to see the value in it, and we're going to say yes. There's no task that you would say, I'm not doing that. You'll do it because it's meaningful and it's valuable. I hope that makes sense, and this is a very strong confirmation of that. And this is going to be a really, really intense, successful, and deeply meaningful journey for you. And now we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching reading. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down in the video description. Okay. New readings for Pisces Thursday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.